Hello and welcome to Producer Profile. Producer Profile is a show where we showcase some of the talented people who work behind the scenes in the entertainment, business, and local communities while making positive influences on the lives of others.
Hello, welcome to Producer Profile. I'm Stella Winston.
And I'm Jim Hill.
And we're here today with a producer by the name of Margaux Jones, and she's worked in the broadcast industry for a while. She's been a producer on many of the major shows, and right now her major focus is her own company called Randy Ross Productions. Welcome to the show, Margaux Jones.
Thank you, both of you.
Margaux, you seem like a real Renaissance woman. I mean, you're doing so many things. What is your objective right now? What is your drive? What are you trying to get to?
Well, basically, to round it up in a nutshell, is to help people reach their peak performance.
Okay.
Most of the time you find that people are lacking faith within themselves, or low self-esteem,
Right.
or they get stuck at a dead-end job,
Right.
and they don't know how to get to the next level. Either they need some motivation, or they need some mentoring, or they need someone to help them or show them how to get there.
Are you going to model it? Because you see, you seem to have self-actualized. And I hear you saying that you want to see others self-actualize. So are you going to show them how to self-actualize through your life? I mean, can you give us a yellow brick road to follow? I mean, how do we do this?
Well, basically, I would tell people how I started off in the business, and the name of the company is Randy Ross Entertainment and Consulting.
Okay.
It's named after my deceased brother, Randy Ross. He loved Diana Ross so much that they called him Ross.
Okay.
Okay? So that's how it all derived. And before he passed away, I had told him, I love entertainment, he loved Diana Ross, he loved the music side. So I said, before he died, I said, I'm going to name a company after you. And well, he never knew the name of the company, and the name turned out to be Randy Ross Entertainment and Consulting. It all started when I was working with Geraldo Rivera for 8 years. And I started off as an intern. Basically, I worked a whole year for free because I was hungry to do what I love to do most. Yes, I was told, oh, you can't get into the business because, you know, it's hard, it's tough, it's a cold business. But as long as the person who was telling me that wasn't aiming for the same objective, I didn't have to worry about her.
That's right.
So I kept my focus and I kept my vision in front of me. And by doing that, I started researching about the media industry and finding out about all the schools that would offer broadcast journalism. And one day I graduated from Brooklyn College, and I was walking by the TV studio, and I heard this young lady said, well, Geraldo, you know, I went for the interview as an intern, and I never knew in my second year that there were interns. So it dropped right in my ears, and I was able to immediately contact the Geraldo Rivera show, which was the investigative news group, and tell them that I was interested in interning.
So just by hearing that conversation, you were able to get that internship.
Absolutely.
So
you have
that was serendipity.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That it happened. That's wonderful.
Right. You have to react when you hear something that affects you, that will have some meaning on your career in the long run. You can't let things just drop on deaf ears as though opportunities will come bouncing back around, you know, 5 months from now or 2 months from now. You have to make it happen. You have to be a great listener. And when it does happen, nothing happens by chance. Everything happens by purpose. And based on that note, I was able to do an internship, and my life took off from there.
But what about fear? I mean, a lot of people can't self-actualize because I just can't go out there now and just say, I want to be on the show. I want to intern.
Well, you know what? What are you fearing? Fear itself. Excuse me.
Okay.
You know, and you get out of that after a while because you stop comparing yourself to those who can't run in your race.
Okay.
You start running with those who can run in your race.
Okay.
And once you start running with those who can run in your race, then you begin to gain more confidence in yourself. I don't hang around with losers. I hang around with winners. My company and the company that I keep are people that are going somewhere or they have a vision.
Oh,
Now-
go ahead.
Now you have a major event coming up, and it's a 3-day event. Tell us about that.
The 3-day business conference, this is the 5th annual conference that Ann Tripp and I are doing. This is Ann Tripp, who's with WBLS WLIB. We do this every year. This is our 5th annual business conference in Piscataway at the Embassy Suites. As a matter of fact, the guest that you had on earlier, Lydia Slowly,
yeah.
she's been with us for the past 5 years, and she's a dynamic lady who brings a lot of information, a lot of spiritual guidance to those who definitely need it. But these retreats help people to reach their peak performance in managing, taking charge of their life, their finances, just personal development, personal growth. People don't, like you said before, sometimes they have so much fear. They want to start a business. They don't know how.
Right.
They want to network. They don't know how. Branding is the key right now. Getting your name out there, getting your company's name out there. If you don't know how to do those things, you must invest in yourself. So Ann Tripp and I have been doing these conferences, which started off with women in the media retreats. But what happened, just women in general were interested and said, well, wait a minute, you having these conferences and these retreats for women in the media, because we basically was a little stressed out. You make all this money and then you don't go pampering yourself.
Right.
You know, the name of the game is not only to do business, but also to look good and feel good inside. So once you learn how to feel good inside, you will also learn how to, well, then eventually you will learn to look good on the outside.
So
like myself. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you look great. You look great. Now, during the 3 days, you talked about different retreats. Give me an example of one of them, and
Well, it's basically you're doing asset management, how to manage your finances, because most of the time, particularly women, we don't know about stocks. We not all, I don't want to generalize.
Right.
Most women don't know how, if their husband passed away, they don't know, I don't know about stocks and bonds. I don't know how to manage my portfolio. I don't, we had a retirement plan. Where do you go from here? How do you handle your retirement plan?
now, what about the one on pampering yourself?
Oh, yeah, that's important.
I want to know about that.
But also,
how do you tell women that yes, you're supposed to take care of yourself, not just
Well, that's
on the
right.
outside, but also be concerned about your health, be
Right.
concerned about your weight.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, one of the things that I find is that if you are going to take care of other people, you must also learn to take care of yourself. And if you don't look good, or if you don't feel good on the inside, you can't have the projection of looking good on the outside, because it will speak for itself. However, Ann and I have decided that business is fine, but let's learn how to keep our colon clean. Let's learn how to not be a victim of diabetes.
Yes.
Let's not be a victim of bad skin and bad teeth and, tiredness all the time, like I feel right now because I'm working on this 3-day business conference.
So you'll bring in someone who will be an expert on health and nutrition.
Right. You have several speakers, absolutely, on health and nutrition, how to market yourself on the internet, how networking works. You will have someone to talk about, after 9/11, we have implemented a seminar based on overcoming grief. Because a lot of people lost family members, and they still need counseling. Lots of people lost jobs, because now we decided that why not, people out there searching, but why don't we have an employment on site to help people gain meaningful employment?
What about fashion? I mean, do you have a section out there? Because part of looking good, I know the body and everything
Right.
else, but sometimes the clothes.
Right.
I mean,
Yes, I'm sorry.
is there going to be a little fashion show?
Yeah, we have a mini fashion show
Okay.
that will follow after the dinner, which we will have at 7:30 in the evening time.
You don't have to bring up Condoleezza Rice. Have you seen her lately?
No, I haven't.
Somebody hooked her up with makeup and hair. Somebody got to her and said, "Girl, you need to be hooked up." She looks 100% better.
Yes, she
I mean,
does.
her makeup, because if you're going to be on camera, you have to have
That's
your
right.
makeup, you have to
That's
have your
right.
hair,
That's right.
the clothes. You know, I just had to comment on her because she's
Right.
always
Yeah,
on
image
air.
is so sad because this society is dealing with image all the time and how you look and you know what color your skin and is she pretty, is she ugly? You know, everything is image. So it's not that I'm into image.
Right.
I'm just into looking good.
Yeah, and feeling
Okay.
good.
And feeling good.
Okay.
So I just feel that's important.
Yeah.
So sometimes your appearance has to be your reality.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, it's just knowing who you are.
Okay.
You know, find out who you are first. You know, the biggest problem, too many people trying to be too many things. Try to know who you are. Once you find out who you are, then the rest is history, because then you'll know which direction you're headed.
Yeah, 9/11, of course, affected everyone. What do you notice different about what motivates people after 9/11? What's the difference?
What's the difference? To be honest with you, I haven't seen a difference. What I do see is still greed. I still see people not being nice, you know, not being courteous. If I go into a bank and I say, "Good morning, how are you?" You making a deposit? They don't even listen. People don't listen. You know, even walking in, you could see, sometimes you need to just look at people look at their eyes. Some people are hurting. Some people don't even like what they're doing. If they have a security job, they're sitting there, "Oh yeah, go ahead, go through." And it's like, you know, what about "Good evening, how can I help you?" Make the best of every opportunity, because we never know why we're in a location anyway. You know, only God knows. But while you're in that position, be thankful, because if you weren't in that position and you did not have a job, you'd be at home talking about, "Well, I wish I had a job, I ain't got no money." But when God blesses you with something, be thankful and be the best that you can be. And the sad thing, most people don't want to do that.
Right.
They don't want to be grateful.
Right.
So after 9/11, I think people should be a little more kinder to one another, or say good morning. Somebody say good morning. I just find that good morning is just, thank God
Will
you
really
woke
help
up.
you.
Yeah.
You know, I love your energy, and I want to ask this question. It's kind of personal
Well, I'm
because
selling the energy.
oh, you sell.
Oh, you mean you have it bottled? Oh, you
I'm
go-
because he's like the fourth person to me about my energy.
But before we go to your question
Okay.
about her energy, we're going to take a musical break.
Sure.
We're going to hear Cannonball Adderley, who is one of the greatest jazz saxophonists of all time, and he's going to be performing a song that was written by his brother, Nat Adderley, called Work Song. So let's enjoy that.
One, two, three, four.
appropriately, we listened to the work song by Cannonball Adderley, and we're here speaking with Margaux Jones, who's telling us how to work better, love better, and have fun better. And Jim, you had a question?
Yeah, I was trying to steal your secret about your energy. And I was reading, it was George Burns, 93 years old, and he was talking back in the 1990s, and he said that the secret to his longevity was that he likes what he's doing. And that's what I want to ask you. Do you really like what you're doing?
I love being my own boss.
Okay.
I love the fact that now I can call my own shots.
Okay.
It's fun, but it's hard work. You know, anything that's, what they said, nothing comes easy. You know, if you are blessed with something you really like to do, there are consequences behind it, whereas you may have to stay up longer, wee hours of the night. You may have to be places you don't want to be. Now, I love just being here, as you can see. So the fact is that the energy has to remain, because you have to remember there are times when no one is going to give you the energy that you need. So you have to learn to pump yourself up. You have to be on cue. You know, let yourself know who you are. Keep that in the back of your mind. Who are you? Where are you going? And wherever you're headed, you must have a map. And without that map, you know, it can lead you astray.
How do you refine your map?
Well, basically, I have to come up with a plan.
Okay.
And with the plan, I come up with the map.
So
And
are you constantly readjusting your map?
readjusting, going back, you have to refine, redefine, and you keep going over it, and you have to make sure that the angle or the direction you're heading in, that's the direction you want to be in. You know, and be careful of your surroundings, the people you bring around you. You know, if their energy is not right, that energy, that negative energy will bounce on you, right?
And I become negative.
Absolutely.
Now, this retreat, this 3-day retreat that you're
3-day
doing?
business conference slash retreat.
Slash retreat. You've been doing it for 5 years.
And tripping.
And tripping
Right.
yourself. And it's also sponsored,
Co-sponsored by J.P. Morgan Chase, and along with the Money Group.
Okay, we had to get that in. Now, doing any kind of production, it takes planning. It takes a lot of time and energy, like you talked, late nights, doing things that you don't want to do. And you've been doing it for 5 years. It's a lot of time, a lot of effort. What is it like when it's over with? What is that downtime like? And how do you reflect and then look forward after it's done?
Well, the downtime gives me an opportunity to reflect. And I look at the faces on the people. As I greet them as they head back on the bus, and the thank yous, and thank you for the opportunity. I never knew it was like this. It's much deeper than a business conference slash retreat. It's a spiritual uplifting. It's a big family of people that I never met, and all of a sudden I felt as though I met them I have known them for over 20-something years. The happy faces, the downside of it is not knowing until you are with the people for the weekend who's hurting inside. There are a lot of people that are hurting. There are a lot of women that came last year. 5 of them lost their husbands, not from the 9/11. They just, young men that just died, you know, working out, exercising, driving, at work, on the train. And they were left as being widows at the age of under 40, under 50. And just watching the hurt inside. But they came away walking renewed. Their spirit, their faith, believing in themselves and knowing that they can do it.
Okay.
You're a warrior, you know.
Thank you.
And I see you're going to develop followers. In developing your followers...
Are you a psychic? No.
He has a crystal ball.
He got a crystal ball. No, you're a warrior.
No, because I see what's happening. It seems like you're taking losers and making them winners, and you say you don't want to be around losers, but in a sense, I can see losers gravitating to you, and you allowing them to self-actualize. Now, you know, to much is given.
Which is required.
Absolutely. Do you feel up to the challenge?
I feel God has placed me in a position, and based on that position, if it's running with, if it's having people that haven't reached their goal, I want to work with those people because it takes courage to step out on faith and to believe in yourself that you can do it. People need direction. They need a map. How do I do this? You know, what does it take? First of all, you have to keep in mind you need to know you need to sacrifice. If you don't make any type of sacrifice on reaching your goals, then you don't need to talk to me because it's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take late hours. It's going to take losing sleep. It's going to take research. It's going to take going to the library. It's going to take talking to people that can help you or direct your path and getting you on track. And if you don't want to make sacrifices, I'll know if you're just a talker. I know the talk is from those who really want to achieve their goals.
Now, your company, does it deal with other companies, businesses, or do you deal with people one-on-one? And also, two things. Another thing, I want you to give a website where someone could find out about the three-day business weekend.
Randy Ross Entertainment and Consulting, also known as R&R Entertainment and Consulting, is basically what I do. I book celebrities and motivational speakers to speak to Fortune 500 companies, non-for-profit organizations, and just regular corporations. That's my goal. That is what my company is about. However, 5 years ago, when Ann and I came up with the vision of saying, let's do a retreat, then we incorporated a health, beauty, and fitness retreat once a year. And then based on that, we got businesses involved that said to us, if you want us to sponsor your event, you better add some business courses in there, some business seminars and workshops. So we did that, and that's how it all came together.
So the business weekend is the outgrowth of the company and its goals.
Absolutely.
And I also wanted you to say
and I use my speakers for the three-day business conferences to give them exposure so that those who are coming for the very first time, we get a lot of repeated people, also repeated customers that come back. But these customers are either with a new corporation or a new company, and they may call me up and say, Margaux, listen, I need so-and-so. I need a Isaac Hayes. I need a Dr. Grace Cornish. I need a Reverend Lydia Slowly. I need an Ann Tripp, you know, and the list goes on. Kim Hampton, you know, former NBA player, WNBA player. So there's a number of different celebrity and motivational speakers that I can call on at my fingertip and get them to speak.
Very good. Now, where can the viewing audience find out about this?
They can, to make it easy for everyone, because we're on several websites, they can go to WBLS.com and look under special events and see Ann Tripp, along with R&R Entertainment Consulting, is hosting a three-day business conference in Piscataway at the Embassy Suites.
Well, it's time to wrap up, but anyway, you've been watching Producer Profile. I'm Stella Winston.
And I'm Jim Hill.
And we've been talking with Margaux Jones. But go ahead, one last question. Go ahead.
Do you do anything for men?
Yes. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Oh.
Don't forget the men, right?
The men is Saturday, May 18th. We're doing an all-men's event. Oh, they would kill me.
When is it? Quick.
May 18th.
Okay.
May 18th at 9 a.m. from 9 to 5. And the number to call is 718-638-5082.
Again, slowly.
718-638-5082.
Well, thank you very much for coming on Producer Profile.
Thank you for having me.
It was fun.
Thank you.
And very informative.
Very
motivating.
Very motivating.